Welcome back, guys. So we are into lesson three. Lesson three is actually HTML element text formatting. We are going to be formatting text bunch of different ways. Okay, so stick around and let's make this happen. Let's get into the computer quickly. So firstly, I'm going to open Notepad quickly. I'm going to check Note quickly and check Notepad, and then open it quickly. Once Notepad open, the folder you see here, I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save it, saving it directly into our HTML folder. If you know nothing of what I'm doing, try to access the other videos that are into the playlist. Okay, you can go and check into the description where you will find lesson one and so forth. This is lesson three. This is lesson three. The file extension I'm adding here, I guess you guys already know about it. The HTML is our file extension. Okay, so I'm going to just run over something here quickly for you. So I'm going to just run over the HTML boilerplate quickly. I'm just going to run over it and then make sure that we at least have our work going instead of wasting time, because I guess that we all here already know the HTML boilerplate format. Okay, if you know nothing of this, try to check lesson one. It is in lesson one and we'll explain also. So it is in lesson one. You can check lesson one, lesson three. So to our body quickly, body, body as well. Come down into this. And lastly, let's get our root HTML closing tag. Okay. Close. Okay. So we are just going to put, we're just going to run our paragraph, just one line here and say paragraph. This is lesson 3, code with tech. Okay, and then we'll close this paragraph tag here and make it like this. Now we have this already, so we can save it. After saving it, and then we can head over to our folder where we have it, where we saved the file in. Okay, this is lesson 3. You see here, this is lesson 3 here. So we're going to open this. We're going to open it. So it opened already. We seen the paragraph here. Let me zoom this so that you can see well. This the paragraph that we enter. We see this is lesson 3, code with tech. Okay, and what we're going to be doing, actually we're going to be working with formatting of text. So we're just going to write our topic in it quickly. So I'm going to get back to our notepad, and then we're just going to have our H1 here to give our topic and see formatting of text. Okay, so we're going to be just take the and say formatting of text. Yeah, just take it as it is, formatting of text. And but we are going to be using different orders one. Okay, so for this one we are only going to be using one header tag here. So when we head back to our browser and refresh our browser, this is what we have. There is a little error in this, so can we check the error and solve it together? Okay, so I'm going to get back to the notepad here. If you see in here, we have header 1 here. Header 1 tag is open, but it is not closed. That is the reason it is affecting this identical line. So if we check into the browser, we see that header 1 and the paragraph tag, they are in the same format, which of course it shouldn't have been so. So we are going to close this header 1 here and then save our code. When we save our code and get back to the browser, we refresh it, this is what we're going to get. So our header one is different and this is also different. So enough of it, we're going to get rid of this header one here. Going to get rid of it. Going to get rid of it. After getting rid of it, we're going to come down here now and start the work. So we're going to take a single word and work with it. Okay, so we're going to create our first p tag, our paragraph tag, and say CodeWithTec with tech. So we say code with tech in this paragraph tag. Okay, code with tech in this paragraph tag, we want to use our first element, our first formatting element. So the first formatting element we want to be using is to bold the text, to bold the text. If you are familiar with using Microsoft Word and other piece of software that have to do with text related document stuff, you will know what I mean when I say bold the text. Okay, so but let us view this in our web page before applying it. Okay, so I'm going to save this. When we get into the web page, and get into the web page and refresh the web page, this is what we're going to get. Okay, we have CodeWithTec right here. Okay, this CodeWithTec. The text here is not bold. Okay, so let's apply our bold formatting element to it. Okay, so now we come here, we are going to put the formatting element within the paragraph tag. Okay, so come here, we say B and close it, and come way at the last here and fit the closing tag to as well. This is B. Okay, so if you see here, we'll say tag dash bold, bold. Okay, so this text is actually what bold. All right, so if we save it and come back and go back to our browser, we are going to see this. So you see the text is now bold. All right, the text is now bold. So the next thing we are going to be doing is that we are going to be looking at other ways you can format or text. Okay, so the next way we are going to be looking at is that to do things very shortly, I'm going to just write this code line of code and duplicate it, please. So I'm going to write this line of code quickly and duplicate it and make sure that I save time in doing the video, because I don't want to do any video that will be in 20 minutes. Okay, so we say CodeWithTec. Okay, code with tech. So now with this code with tech, we're going to close the paragraph. Okay, so we're going to copy the text here on multi lines. So I'm just going to highlight it and come here and say copy, come down, press enter on my keyboard and come here and paste it. Okay, you see it come down. Okay, so I'm going to do it like 5 or 4, 6, 7, maybe 4 or 5, 3 or 2, maybe 4 or 5 times. Okay, my bad. So we have copied the text already. So the next thing we want to be using in it is actually something that is very, very important. Okay, we want to be using strong. Strong is another formatting text that you can add to your text. Okay, but it is quite different from both, but they look similar in appearance. Okay, let us try it and see what we have here. Strong, and come here and say this is okay. We say strong, strong. Okay, and then we'll close it, strong strong also. Okay, so when we save this code here, we should have this result. So this is what we have now. The next text here is strong, but if you look at it technically, uh the text bold and A, they have the same uh appearance. They have the same appearance, but in lots of time in your programming in high level, as we continue studying the course, you will understand the difference between strong and that of bold. There are times that you use strong, there are times you use bold. Okay, so we're going to get back to our notepad, and the next one we're going to be using. So I'm just going to say emp right here. So I'm going to say emp right here, and then we'll come right here. So let me just give this the en here. Good. All right. So I'm going to close the en tag here, and come here and say en, right? I'm formatting it. I can put the closing tag before the opening tag. Either of them I want to do. Okay. So as we save this, as we save it, we head back to our browser. We're going to see this. So all of our text below has gone through what we call emphasis. This is what we call emphasis in programming. Okay, this is what we call emphasis. Okay, when you add emphasis to the text, this is how you add emphasis to the text. Okay, but we have a little problem here. The problem we have here is that we have emphasis being applied to we have emphasis being applied to our text. We have emphasis being applied to our text, and we want to get rid of them. So the best way we can get rid of them is by editing our code just like this, like this. Okay, so we have one emphasis tag in between here, so we got rid of it already. So when we save this code and get back, we will know what we are doing is just awesome. So when you refresh it, you find out that this text here in a Microsoft Word or other Word document, it will tell you that the writing is italicized. But in programming, we call it emphasis. In HTML, that is emphasis. Okay, you are giving lay emphasis to the writing. You are laying emphasis to that identical text within your website. Okay, so this is emphasis. Okay, so the next thing we are going to prioritize is opening our notepad and coming right here, and the next thing we're going to look at is very key and crucial. We are going to be taking a very keen look at max delete and other features. Okay, so let's just take del first. Del. After taking del, we're going to work on this del open and del close. So these are the way you format your text. Right after our 10th lesson, we are going to work on something that will be very important. So if we see here, the text have been deleted. So lines have run through the text. Okay, line have run through the text. All right. This text is actually for emphasis. This is strong. This is bold. This is strong. This is emphasis. This is delete. Okay, whenever you use the delete element to format or text, what's going to happen is that it will run line through it. Okay, it will run a single line through it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to do with marks. Okay, mark. Okay, we're going to mark our text. So the next one here, we're going to open this and say mark and close it and move on to the next one and close the mark tag. Right, good. So right after closing this, we can save it, Control S, or do it manually like I'm doing, and then come back to your browser right here and refresh the browser. So you see I have marked the identical text. So you see the background color have become yellow, but the text color remain black, okay, which is the default. Good. So the next area here we're going to go is that we're going to do the super type and what we call in mathematics as the base and that of the exponent. Okay, so we're going to be doing the subtype and that is super type. In HTML we call it sub and that is super. Okay, subscript, superscript, subtype, super type. Okay, you call it anyway, you can use any of those two. So for here we'll use sub, okay, and close it, and come here and close the sub tab. Okay, and close this. So as we save it, this is what we are going to get. And refresh this, you find out that this text is actually, the text has reduced from a normal stage. It has reduced. But how can we know that it is actually a sort? So now we are going to take another word and use we are going to say code and use with tech as the sub of code. Okay, so we are going to use with tech as the sub of code. So we'll come right here, we say sub, close this, and then we get rid of this other tag. Okay, so when we save it, you will understand what it is. Now just to give you a clear picture of it, so this is how it will look like. Okay, so now you see this have become sub of this. In mathematics, people usually use this to reference the base number to that number is 8. Okay, we have this and this being our subscript. Okay, this being our subscript, this is the subscript that we just took. Okay, and the next one we are going to be doing, we're going to be doing a superscript. Okay, so I'm going to do code with that one more time in a paragraph tag and say code with tech. Okay, do this quickly. So the next one we're going to be using a superscript. How can we use the superscript now? To using the superscript, we just need to do it the same way. Sup, close this, and come all the way here and backslash sup. Okay, close this. When we save this code, get back to our browser and check. As we refresh it, our result is right here. Let me reduce this. This is our result. Okay, but how can we know which one is the superscript? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as we did it here. Okay, we're going to use this method to get this clearer. So we'll come back here and then we take this superscript from right here. We cut it, Control X on Window or Command X on Mac, and then we come right here with tech and say Control V on Window or Command V on Mac. Okay, so we save it and then we come to our browser, refresh our browser, we have this. Okay, so now here this began our exponent, this began our exponent, this began our base. Okay, so these are just common way we format text. If you check into the video description, you will see lots of tags in there that you can use to format text. But with time standing, we cannot continue to make example on every bit of the thing, because at the end of the identical series program, we have a project. We have a very good project coming up on this identical teaching. Okay, so anything you doesn't understand, feel free to comment and then hit me up, and then I will see what to do to reply to your comment as soon as possible. Okay.